This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.
Greetings, blessings, and good fortune, everybody. We're here on another Thursday, a nice Thursday. It's a good Thursday. Good to be here. We're coming at you from 97.7 KCYP, The City, out of McAllen, Texas. We are in the McAllen Creative Incubator. We're also going out on the 97.7 YouTube channel, the 97.7 Facebook channel, also the Bitcoin Otter and the Christopher Ott, both YouTube and Facebook channels. Thank you for coming, for checking us out today, and for just kind of hanging out. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of things that are going on in the world, but what I want to talk about first is our families. You know, we take a lot of things for granted sometimes, and we don't always see that our family members need us. Not only do they need us, but we can be there for them. And when they're not doing well, sometimes it weighs on us. So let's pray for each other. All right. We all have our issues, right? We all have things going on in life, and we're all trying to keep them like juggling plates in the air, you know? But if we just come together, if we pray for each other, I think it'll do us all a lot of good. I'm going to continue on here. I'm going to go with the verse of the day first. And this one comes from Proverbs. The lips of the righteous nourish many, but fools die for lack of judgment. So, in that wise saying from Proverbs, let us remember that what we say means a lot. How we say it means a lot. May what we say benefit somewhere, somehow, someone. And I don't know, for me anyway, I'm going to try and remember that. Bitcoin today was $109,900 per. Silver, $37.08 per ounce. And gold, $3,329 for 1 ounce of gold. Your average mortgage rate today for 30-year fixed was 6.8. It's going down very slow because of Too Late Powell. Too Late Powell is the puppet at the helm of the evil Federal Reserve, and he wants all the worst for you and Donald Trump. So he's not going to move that rate anytime soon. The 15-year rate is 6.0. Better, but still, it can be much better. The banks just hate you. This is not a Cointelegraph. Going to get into some crypto news. Also, it gets a little political, but that's what happens when communism encroaches. Zohran Mamdani. Is he really that bad for New York's crypto industry? This is out of Cointelegraph. It goes on to say that Zohran Mamdani won the New York mayoral primary election on June 24, which has since caused a stir among the crypto industry's upper crust, as it were. Mamdani will face off against incumbent mayor Eric Adams. Oh, and the Democrats despise Eric Adams. He's lucky to still be around because those Democrats really hate him. He has agreed with Trump on more than one occasion. That is enough for them to do whatever they feel like doing to someone like him. In November, and it's clear that many in the crypto industry are uneasy about the prospect of a Mamdani victory. Executives and pro-crypto government officials alike have decried his policy proposals, with critics equating his left-leaning policies to Soviet collectivism. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, once you see this, don't try to unsee it because, well, they're telling you who they are and what they're going to do to you. They're not telling you with their words because this is the guy, Mamdani Rami Mammy Swami, whatever his name is. He's the guy who, he's Muslim, right? And he has gone off on tangents about anti-Semitism. What does he care about anti-Semitism, right? He doesn't. That's the fact. But he'll use that to try and get elected. And then he was walking in the Pride Parade. Have you ever seen what happens to Pride people in under Sharia law? It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. So this guy is a perfect example of a New York style politician. No truth whatsoever in the guy. David Sachs says he's part of the Trump financial advisory. Wake up, Silicon Valley. This is the future of the Democrat Party. Communism has defeated liberalism. Even Bill Clinton has bent the knee. You basically have two choices now. Get on board with MAGA or prepare to be on Mama Danny's dinner menu. Whatever you want to say, David Sachs, all I can say is if you're in New York still, oh, man, I don't even want, I want to be as far away from that as possible. This is coming out of Zero Hedge. After 8 hours of hogwash from Representative Jeffries, House Republicans passed Trump's big, beautiful bill. Ladies and gentlemen, he's planning on signing it tomorrow on the 4th of July, and they got it done. It was not, I guess, easy for our Republicans, because while many are corrupt, they're not going to get killed, literally, for voting on the other side of the aisle. Unlike the Democrat Party, and unfortunately the woman from Minnesota who was killed in her bed with her husband, because, well, the word on the street is that Tim Walsh ordered it. Who am I? I don't know, but those are the reports, right? So if you are a Democrat and you vote for America, you literally have to watch your back. But these Republicans don't feel that way. So I guess that says something. I mean, I'm still not a Republican, don't get me wrong. But it still says that you can still vote somewhat your conscience, if that's what they were voting for. The main people were, I think it was Massey, a couple other guys. That Corning guy, we got to get rid of him any way we can. I don't know where he stood on it. He must have voted with America on this. Now, there's a lot of things here, and I'm going to dig into this, but this is what Zero Hedge says in their article. The Republican House members passed the bill with all Democrats voting nay. All Democrats voted against it. Every single one of them. So it was 218 to 214 vote. The bill will now go to President Trump's desk to be signed tomorrow morning. The core of the BBB bill, no, that was Biden. Well, that was the auto pen. The Build Back Better, whatever it is. This is the big, beautiful bill. Permanently extends and expands the 2017 Trump tax cuts, introducing new deductions for tip income and overtime pay. No tax on tips. No tax on overtime. Man, that's going to be awesome. While providing significant tax relief for Social Security recipients. Those seniors in our lives on Social Security will hopefully, and I don't know the details and I don't know the numbers, but they should be tax exempt. At least their Social Security benefits should. It reinstates full and immediate expensing for business equipment and research and development, delivers new construction write-offs for manufacturers, and boosts incentives for domestic semiconductor production. Bringing that stuff back to America is definitely a good thing to have. So I'm getting into the chat here. I don't see anybody yet, but we'll see. Hopefully we'll get things going. If not, those of you that are watching how would you say, delayed recording, thank you very much. Trump sparks domestic labor renaissance. Native-born workers surge to record highs as foreign-born workers plunge. So I looked at this chart. Again, this is from Zero Hedge. 1.5 million native workers have gained employment to 1 million foreign workers losing or quitting their jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're doing. And this is why we're doing it. Because, and we'll get into this in the next article about Alligator Alcatraz. That's a wonderful, wonderful place. But what's going on is we want Americans to have jobs in American manufacturing and American businesses. So you might be thinking to yourself, okay, how did things get this bad? Me personally, I'm the son of an auto worker. I am a son of a middle-class blue-collar guy. who took care of me is my mom, my sister. We had a house, never starved. We weren't rich, but we didn't starve. And we had a house. Very nice things. Why? Because it was an American manufacturing plant. It's gone now. Oh, it's gone. It's in that place called Buffalo, New York, where really nothing good is. Yeah. No. Manufacturing? No. Industry? No. That's all in China. And the burnt out, husk of places like Buffalo, New York, Cleveland, Baltimore, St. Louis, Chicago, whatever. They're just places you don't want to be. Now, this is getting to be frustrating for all of those, those of us that love America. So what is being done about it? Well, alligator Alcatraz is one of those things. So I can't remember the dimensions of it, but I do know it's in the swamp. It's in the swamp, and there's many gators there, as everyone from Florida knows. Anyone who's visited Florida knows. So this place is surrounded by gators, surrounded by snakes, things that'll bite you and not feel bad about it. Okay? So they're going to have this detention facility that looks to be a soft-sided facility, meaning you can probably cut through it or whatever. But you're going into the swamp, man. You're going into the swamp. And these people are probably used to just living off of you and me. They're probably getting checks from whoever was running the office for the last 4 years, the auto pen people. And they're just used to, living high off the hog off of your tax money. So they're probably not going to be risking being an alligator meal anytime soon. So they're pretty much going to stay put. This place has an airstrip on it. Look it up. You'll if you love America, you're going to love what's going on in regard to taking people from our country and putting them back in their own. If you really love America, that's where you want people to be, in their own country. Okay? If you want to help America, if you want America to survive as the constitutional republic that it is. Now, if you don't, well, then you join the rest of the communists. Okay? Because we're going to be fighting them for a while. So, alligator Alcatraz. This is from the Gateway Pundit. Tom Homan, right? He's the new border czar, because we don't need one in Texas anymore. We got one in the White House. Jim, good to see you. So, Tom Homan, again, Gateway Pundit. Tom Homan says deportations will vastly increase as big beautiful bill is passed. Provides funding to open more facilities like alligator Alcatraz to detain more aliens. The White House hopes to deport at least 3,000 illegals per day, which only amounts to roughly 1.1 million aliens per year, not even close to the 20+ million who invaded our country under it says Biden administration, but whoever was running the country then, auto pen people, we're going to find out who they were. And maybe put them in alligator Alcatraz, send them somewhere. Yeah. However, with the passage of the one big beautiful bill, Homan says that they will be able to enforce the laws of this country and sign more contracts to detain even more aliens. Isn't that great? We need more beds, says Tom Homan. That bill is going to let us sign contracts that are pending for more beds. Homan told the Gateway Pundit, we don't have the funding to do it, but once that bill passes and the money comes to the Department of Homeland Security, we can sign some of those contracts and get more beds right away. Now, I don't think anyone, especially anyone that is watching this show, is upset that our money isn't still going to Iran, still going to Afghanistan, still going to Ukraine. It's going to house illegal aliens until they are removed from our country, removed from our Social Security, removed from our Medicaid, removed from the trough of welfare that we have provided for them to the tune of billions for who knows how long. Okay? We are nice people. Americans are. But we've been used for far too long. the Republicans and the Democrats have nearly crushed us under the weight of these taxes, giveaways, inflation. Well, inflation that's all about the Federal Reserve. They have a horrible monetary instrument, and they love it because they don't love us. That's for sure. 60 Minutes. Kamala Harris. Did I mispronounce that? I know she gets upset when someone mispronounces Kamala Harris. Interviewer Bill Whitaker reportedly teary-eyed after news of lawsuit settlement. If you know anything and you don't watch TV, then you know that CBS, when they did that, criminal thing, well, one of the many criminal things they did was they edited an address. If you want to call it an address, I mean, it was a word salad, if you will. It was just a well, you know how Kamala talks, right? So she just went into one of her just rambling, whatever it is. And they edited it because she was in a presidential race for the 2024 election. So reality says she was probably at about 1%. And they definitely didn't want it to go to zero. So they lied and said she was at whatever. And then they said, hey, let's edit this. We don't want everybody to know, that there's a box of rocks ready to be made president. We don't want that. So what they did was they edited it, they went over it. They did a do-over, which they never, ever would have done for Donald Trump. You and I both know that. Even if you're into communism, they never would have given Donald Trump, another shot at a presidential interview. So the fact of the matter is, what we have is a situation where CBS is now paying millions. Oh, no. Billions. Says here, President Trump filed a $20 billion lawsuit against the network's parent company, Paramount, for deceptively editing 60 Minutes. See, they know that the people who watch TV really can't tell if something's been edited. They really can't tell. They don't really care because they were going to vote for Kamala no matter what. So this Bill Whitaker guy is all teared up. He knows, ladies and gentlemen, he knows he's gotten a first look at the fact that the mainstream fake media is on the way down. It's on the way down and out because we're not going to take that kind of mess anymore. If you're a communist, you can just watch reruns. You can watch The View all day long if you want, but they're going bankrupt. You better get into the reruns and all that. What do they call it? Tubi? Whatever. The suit alleged that CBS News deceptively edited the Harris interview to help the failed candidate boost her chances. Oh, yeah, we saw how that went. George Bush shamelessly joins Obama and Bono. What a schmuck. That was me. To slam President Trump for gutting USAID slush fund and sending them packing. So USAID, ladies and gentlemen, they've cut it off now, a monetarily hemorrhaging agency that was giving aid to the enemies of the United States all around the world. It basically stole money from you, gave it to, anybody that they wanted to give it to, and never told us. We only know about it now because of Doge. Or then some of us that are affectionately called or, hatefully called conspiracy theorists knew. We sure did. Now, former Clinton pollster Mark Penn. This is former Clinton pollster. Well, you know what? I got something else to say about this George Bush thing. Shamelessly joins Obama. He doesn't have shame. If you're in the Bush crime family, shame was left long before you were in the Skull and Bones, Georgie. Carrying maraschino cherries in your butt cheeks from one side of the room to the other for initiation. We know what you guys do, and we know it's not all that manly. So I don't care what anybody says. George Bush might as well be George Obama. They're on the same side. and it's not America's side. You know, his dad said probably thousands of times that we were ready for a new world order. I'll tell you, that thing was coming down very hot and heavy on the neck of Americans, like a jackboot. The Bush New World Order. But you know what? A bunch of patriots got together and they recruited Donald Trump. And that's who we voted for. George Bush, shamelessly. No, he didn't shamelessly do anything. He has no shame. It never existed for people like him. So he doesn't have to deal with it. This is also from the Gateway Pundit. Former Clinton pollster Mark Penn. Zohran Mamdani is a 9/11 movement for the Democrat Party. He said Democratic, but there is nothing democratic about the Democrat Party. Okay? Democracy doesn't come into the political sphere, the Overton window, when it comes to the Democrat Party. That's the problem. They love to use this moniker, Democratic Party, but it's just trying to fool you and me. And we know that it doesn't. Thank you very much. Now, they seem to split in two camps on the topic of communist Zohran Mamdani. Yes, I am purposely misappropriating his name. Purposely. I don't like communists, and I'll say their name as I will. Thank you. The far left faction in the party is thrilled by his sudden rise. Many people in the more traditional wing of the party are absolutely terrified. Commie's going to commie, Democrats. If you're an old school boomer Democrat, you've been left behind a long time ago and told you weren't. Many people, yeah, well, I just said that, count former Clinton pollster Mark Penn among the latter. He recently appeared on Fox News and described Mamdani as a 9/11 movement for the Democrat Party. Penn also suggests that the insane process of ranked choice voting had a lot to do with Mamdani's primary win. Now, a word about this ranked choice. I don't really know how the ins and outs of that works, but I can tell you that if the Democrat Party favors it, it's a scam. I can tell you that right off the bat. Now, again, I'm not a Republican, and I'm not shilling for any. But the fact of the matter is, if you don't understand that communism without deceit cannot flourish in a constitutional republic such as ours, then you've probably been to too much institutional learning. You've been through the gamut of the programming, through the gamut of the conditioning of what passes as nowadays higher learning. It is higher conditioning. They're very good at what they do. They are very good, communists, are very good at conditioning. Predictive programming is what it's actually called. So they can predict how a certain generation will react to certain stimulus based on how they've conditioned them. So they've told you, well, you've got to go to college. Pretty much had to do that because all of the blue-collar jobs, the industrial manufacturing jobs, were shipped overseas on purpose. Why? Well, first of all, they don't want you to have a job. Second of all, or maybe we can reverse these. First of all, they know that their monetary instrument, the Federal Reserve note, is purely inflationary. It is a debt-based system that is designed to bankrupt you and keep you in debt slavery. How do you do that? Well, you do it slowly over time so that people don't notice it. So you can outsource your manufacturing to the places where they have little kids, like in lithium mines, or little kids digging coal, little kids putting phones together, okay? Or people making 2 cents a day, something like that. That way, as the value of your money plummets, you don't notice it as much because you're still getting cheap goods. That's why they love this system. Because at some point, if we continue to allow the Federal Reserve to set our monetary policy, you and I will be in a gulag. How do we know this? Just look at Soviet Russia. Okay? The Bolsheviks, the same people that run the Federal Reserve System, the Bolsheviks went into Russia, killed the czars, which they tried to do. Well, they succeeded with Kennedy. They succeeded with, many of them, right? Lincoln, Reagan. didn't quite work out. Worked out with Reagan because they knocked him off his game. And, of course, he had George Bush Sr. with him, which he might as well have had, I don't know, Lenin, Stalin, who knows? Anyway, what I'm getting at is this. You have to remember that the majority of monetary woes are a result of the monetary source. This is worldwide. Why is it worldwide? Because the Federal Reserve banks are worldwide. That is why. Okay? Now, we're about the halfway. We might not go very long today, but we're about at the halfway point. And I just want to let you know that we're going out on terrestrial radio, 97.7 FM, KCYP The City. We're going out on YouTube, 97.7. We're going out on Facebook, 97.7. We're going out in 2 radio apps, right? One's called Radio Garden, and the other one's TuneIn Radio. You can tune in at any time on those 2 apps. So what I'm saying is this. We need to fix, and don't for a second think that it isn't going to happen. It's going to happen. If Trump hasn't come out hot and heavy on them yet, he will. However, all of these, I guess, financial woes can be placed on the back of guys like Powell and all those people. All those people, Yellen, Janet Yellen. I don't know what she's yelling about, but Janet Yellen, right? So all this contributes to the fact that during the AutoPen days, we could barely afford eggs. Okay? Now, we got no problem. I drove by today on the way to the studio here. I drove by and saw a gas price at $2.34 a gallon. Now, that's still high, and it's going to go lower as they drill, baby, drill. But you just put these things into perspective, okay? Eggs and gas, and these are things that count, right? These are actualities that we've been lied about by people who, took a vegetable and put him in front of a camera for 4 years and called him Mr. President. And then behind the scenes, we know it was Hussein. We know it was Hussein. Of course it was Hussein. He said he was going to do it. He said he was going to sit in his basement with a pair of sweats and, have some clown with an earpiece in that he could tell him what to say. Now, at some point or another, that didn't even work because the brain inside the clown was malfunctioning severely. And that just didn't work out for them at all. So they had to create this, how would you say, this plot, right? This conspiratorial plot of a group of people that were using this AutoPen thing to do things like sign bills, do things like pardon criminals, things like that. But I digress. So this here is another thing that I want to tell you about to illustrate how deep the deep state really is. Jim Comey. You remember Jim Comey, the corrupt FBI head? Jim Comey, the guy who failed and didn't want to prosecute Hillary Clinton for all the crimes that she committed. Tammy, good to see you. That James Comey. He's got a daughter. And she's put in charge of prosecuting Sean Diddy Combs. Wow. How do you think that worked out? Exactly how you thought. The one-time global hip-hop titan whose federal trial unveiled harrowing testimony accusing him of sexual abuse against women and forced drug-dazed freak-offs was acquitted Wednesday on racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, but found guilty of lesser charges. Does that surprise anyone who knows the normal, everyday method of operations that the communists use? How do you think you arrive at so many corrupt politicians, so many corrupt judges, so many corrupt business leaders, so many corrupt bankers? How do you arrive at that? Well, you can say, the many ages old greed factor. Sure, I'll go there. But some of these people, even against all logic will not vote for what is good, rule for what is good, do what is good by any means. Why? It's called blackmail. Now, what was Epstein Island? It was a blackmail factory for just those such a people. Your judges, your politicians, your CEOs, your all things bankers, right? All things together that make up the swamp, the deep state, the Illuminati, the Khazarian Mafia, whatever you want to call it, okay? All these things come together. And what they do is they hurt us. They hurt the world. It's a worldwide criminal cabal, ladies and gentlemen. This banking institution, this Federal Reserve System, is a cancer on the world. And it's housed here, right? Since 1913. That's a long time. Now, this Diddy Combs guy and his freak-offs, that was just another location, just another blackmail factory to complement Epstein Island. That's what these places are used and these events are used for, because they record all the goings on. And then they hold it against the person who's supposed to be voting for communism, who's supposed to vote for, more issues that will bankrupt America and the world. That's what these things are. So if you were to expect that James Comey's daughter would actually prosecute righteously, then you've been watching too much TV, because it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Now, like I said, we're probably not going to go the whole hour today, but what I would like to do is give a little explanation of why I'm not against the huge addition that the big, beautiful bill adds to the debt. Why? Because I believe, call it hubris, whatever you want to call it. I don't have detail, but I truly believe what Trump's endgame for the financial situation is. I truly believe that the Federal Reserve is in the process of crashing their very own system. What would make me think that they're crashing? Why would they do it? Because we have evidence of it. They did it in the 20s. Arguably, they might have done it in 08. The pandemic, right? The 2020 thing. But a real crash is what they really want. Because at a time no more important than this, no more monumental than this, is everyone's retirement wrapped up in the Wall Street casino. If they can monetarily decimate the American economy, well, what happens to your money in your IRA? My money in my IRA. What happens to that? Well, it becomes worthless and probably sells for pennies on the dollar. But you and I won't have anything to buy it up with. They will, though. All they'll have to do is create more on their computers and then sack up your house, sack up your vehicle, sack up everything you've worked for your whole life. So why, again, is Donald Trump adding to this? Because he's redlining the machine, man. He's redlining the machine. And when it crashes, this is just me thinking here, right? When it crashes, and it will, it's designed to. When it crashes, had we not, by mandate, placed that man and the patriots that recruited him into position to make a grandiose effort at a counterinsurgency, then we have no hope. But as it is now, I firmly believe, okay, and Bitcoin Otter at secure.com if you want sauce for this. Bitcoin Otter at secure.com, or hit me up in the comments here. We can talk on the Facebook Messenger thing. Now, what I do want to say is this. I truly believe that they have a parallel system that is ready to come online as this. You ever see those World War II videos? That's going to be our banking system, purposely by the scammers at the Federal Reserve. But, and they're working on it already, we will have already our new treasury-based system on the upswing. So we will have a solid financial foundation, a solid U.S. currency based constitutionally, because in the Constitution, prior to the scandalous 16th Amendment scam that it was, the Constitution said that all money must be minted through the U.S. Treasury. Why? Because that is our treasury. That's where these tariffs are going in. Okay? Another aspect of how things are going to be run. The federal government will no longer be run by the Internal Revenue Service, which does nothing but steal from you and me. It will be run by the External Revenue Service from outside of the U.S. with the money from the tariffs coming in. Okay? And we just heard good news that Vietnam's going to pay their share of, I can only imagine how much U.S. aid gave to that country. Oh, and of course the stuff that went on with the war and everything. But anyway, I don't want to digress because we're going somewhere with this. The new monetary system that is being ramped up is going to be something that you and I can actually rely on to be a store of value. It's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna have gold backing it, silver backing it, Bitcoin backing. I don't know. Okay, I'm not in those conversations, as you well know, and I won't pretend to be. But I'll tell you that I truly believe that system is ready to go. At some time, some place, and I don't know that it's set. I think it's fluid based on circumstances. We're going to be able to drop the Federal Reserve note. You know, it could even be the case. This could even be the case. Sue, I will never eat another maraschino cherry again. Good idea, especially when you're at Yale with those skull and bones people over there. Anyway, I believe with sauce, again, I have reasons for the things that I believe. I really do. And I can give those reasons to you. But that would probably go way over our allotted time. So what I'm going to say is this. Once we have a solid monetary instrument, our lives are going to become much better. We've lost 98% of the buying power of the Federal Reserve note since 1913 when it was introduced. Now, there's a guy out there. He's Dave from X22 Report. I like to listen to him. I don't agree with everything he says. But anyway, he has this analogy. If you were to go back into, I think it was in the 30s, when they stole, I think it was under Roosevelt. Was it Roosevelt or one of the other shysters? They stole Americans' gold. So they said that all Americans had to give up their gold to the government. It was a ridiculous thing. It was a tyrannical thing, but people did it. So if you were to bury an ounce of gold then, it was worth like $35 or something, and bury the $35. Okay, we're nearly at $3,500. So which one would you dig up? The gold. Gold, baby. Gold. Now, if we back not our Federal Reserve notes, because they're trash, but if we back our Treasury notes, our U.S. dollar, okay, not the corporate U.S., but the free, we the people U.S., and we back it with gold or we back it with whatever, it won't be the debt-based instrument that the Federal Reserve is. The Federal Reserve note. So things will get increasingly and then more and more big, beautiful, and better. Why? Because we're all going to be able to participate in this. All of us that want to work. All of us that are willing to, do what we need to do to support each other. Because that's what it's all about. They want us to hate. They, meaning the deep state, the communists, want us to hate each other. By the color of your skin, your sexual preference, your economic status, you name it. They're going to divide us if they can. But what does a bountiful economy do? Sometimes we can forget about all that crap. Because we're okay. Our thoughts are not consumed with how we're going to pay the rent, how we're going to pay the car note, the electric bill. Because once our monetary system is fixed, life becomes easier. Things become better. But that's not what the Federal Reserve wants for you. They want you in debt servitude. Okay? And they want you a little bit sick so that they can get the pharmaceutical companies to treat you, but not cure you. No. That's not the object. The object is to treat you just so that you're going to last a little bit longer. And they can hit your insurance a little bit more. Suck a little bit more out of you, or maybe a lot, monetarily. And since I think that they're all in cahoots, a really solid United States dollar is going to be very, very good for us. And I think it's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for watching. And again, not to say too much. I don't have license to say too much. Haven't asked. So I'm just going to say that let's pray for each other. Let's keep each other and each other's families in our hearts and minds. Because to one degree or another, we are struggling together. I'll even go as far out to say that people from different countries are struggling together. I have family in Mexico. I love them. I want Mexico to succeed as much as I want America to succeed, and I believe it will. It's going to take a while. We're going to have to work together. We're going to have to cooperate. But this international criminal cartel is losing. I sincerely believe it. I sincerely believe it. Are there going to be some hiccups along the way? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, let me give you an example. There's still nobody on the Christopher Ott Facebook page. Okay? Wait, it looks like I got 4 that might be on right now, but I'm not seeing exactly where they are, because what Facebook does is they change the way you're able to interface with the comments from week to week, and they have their algorithms that tell us who is on and who is not. Okay, looks like I got Mike Zukowski. We have different opinions, but I still love you. Yes. Thank you, Mike. I hope you're still watching. I don't know when that one came in. Arnold, glad to see you. Jim's up there. Tammy. Yes, Mike. I am for you, Mike. Mike is, politically speaking, not on the same page I am. But, man, we grew up together. I want nothing wrong to happen to Mike Zukowski at all. I want his family to be healthy. I want him to be successful. I want him to win in life. I want us all to win in life. But I think, even if we can't agree politically, I think we all can agree that things need to improve. Things need to get better. And what better thing can we do to improve right away than our relationship and respect for each other? We don't have to hate each other. We don't have, just because of our politics. I don't hate anybody because they voted Democrat. I don't hate anybody because they do whatever. I don't need to hate someone because I know that they, just like me, are going to be judged someday. Not by me. Who am I? I'm just another traveler in this timeline. God will judge us all based on his criteria. Okay, not mine. It's his. So I'm against no one who is against my political beliefs. It just doesn't resonate with me. And I thank you, Mike, for that comment, because that's exactly how I feel. That's exactly the way I think. Because if we don't start coming together, we're not going to have a country. Or if we have a country that's in name says United States of America, oh man, it's going to be horrendous. It's going to be terrible, tyrannical. Literally, it will be lost. The Constitution will be gutted, just like they wanted for us after the war that they planned for us. The wars, I should say. Now, again, we're not out of the woods, but the Patriots are winning. I truly believe that the Patriots are in control. And what I would like to say is God bless you. God bless your families. Let's pray for each other. Let's pray for, first of all, spiritual enlightenment. I am not any guru of any kind. But I'll tell you what, when my eyes were open to what God did to me through his son, Jesus Christ, never been the same. For the better. For the better. Do I still have work? Oh, I got a lot of work. Oh, I'm a lot of rough edges. A lot of them. Won't pretend any different. But I know where I'm going. And I know that I can help others see the right path. So whatever it is we argue about, or whatever it is that we differ on, let's just remember that we're all in this together. This is the world God made, and we are the people he made. We are his people. Let's not fight each other. Let's fight evil. In our first of all, in here, right here, and here. Second of all, in our communities, to the best of our ability. Thank you all. I ask God to bless you, to bless our country, and to bless those people that are leading us on the righteous path toward a reformation of godly principles in the best country in the world. God bless you. Have a great week. And the Otter is out.
This is the